You know, a couple years ago I was on the boat with you at the Red River, and you told me about this was when the McStick was just coming out, and you told me about the story about how it was designed and how you came up with the idea and everything else. Just go through that with us real quick.
You know, the big thing about the Spro McStick is it's been, I guess, 3 years ago now. Spro came to me and knew that I was, a Midwestern angler, threw a stick bait all my life, and had tinkered with them and played with them, and actually came to me and said, hey, we want you to design a stick bait for us. So, it was really a pretty cool process to go through. It wasn't one of those deals where they sent me a stick bait and said, here it is, make a few changes. Basically, they let me take and choose the body style I wanted, the size of the bait, and the action as far as the way the bait sits in the water, the way the bait swims. And essentially what I did was I took everything I had done over the years in stick baits and kind of meshed all of them together. I had thrown in a lot of different brands over the years, and I just meshed everything that one or the other had in it into the Spro McStick. And the 110 was the original model that we designed. And the 110, it has a real good swimming action. And when I say good cold water swimming action, you don't want a bait that darts side to side. You want something that's just got a tight wiggle, and that was one of the big keys. The other thing is we've got a weight transfer system in the bait, so when you're casting, the weight falls to the tail, so it allows you to throw the bait a lot farther than a lot of other stick baits on the market. And it also allows you to balance the bait in the water. When the balls roll forward and get in the fishing chamber, the bait, I always want it to set a little bit nose down. And the way we've designed the bait to be balanced, it does set nose down. And I will adjust on it occasionally. If it's got too much rise in it, I'll either put bigger hooks on it or add a split ring to give it a little more weight and to give it the balance that I want. But when I designed this bait, the first 2 or 3 body styles were pretty close to what I was looking at. But when I finally got the body style that I wanted, it just didn't have the right action. And I literally cut the bills off that were on the baits, made bills out of CD cases, super glued them to the bait until I got the bait to swim the way I wanted it to. So it was a pretty long, drawn-out process. It took us almost a year to get the first ones really in production that we wanted to go with. Since then, we've come out with 2 new models. We've got the McStick 95, which is just a size-down version of the 110. We also have the new McGrip 85, which is a deep diving, colder water jerkbait. Late winter, early spring, when the fish are still a little bit deeper, you can get down to those fish that you've never been able to reach with that kind of a jerkbait.
Yeah. Tell me something. You prefer suspending or slow sinking or what?
The big thing about a stick bait is, in the springtime especially, I never want the bait to rise. I always want it to suspend or possibly sink slowly. These baits are all designed to, and I don't want to say they're all going to come out of the package to suspend, because water temperature affects them, altitude affects them, so many different things affect them. But we've designed this bait so close to suspending in 40 to 45 degree water that all you have to do is either change 1 or 2 hooks up a size, or possibly add an extra split ring for just a little more weight. Anytime I'm throwing one, though, early in the spring, I always want that bait to set dead still in the water, or I want it to sink very, very slow.
Yeah. And what are you said, 40, 42, 45, when do you start throwing them and when do you stop?
The thing about throwing a stick bait is I'll start throwing a stick bait late in the fall when the water temperature drops below 50 degrees generally. Now, once the water temperature bottoms out and starts to warm up again, and I don't care if it only bottoms out at, say, 45 degrees, once that water starts to warm up again is really when the stick bait bite comes on. Okay. The McRib is a tremendous bait to throw when it's really, really cold and you have to get the bait a little bit deeper for them. But as that water temperature starts warming up, that's when the 110 is really going to come into play.
Right. It is an ideal bait. I caught a bunch of them on it this spring. My lake warms up too fast, so it was like a 2-day deal.
And that's the thing that some people run into is when a lake warms up too quick, you don't have a long jerkbait season. But one thing I have found is I can generally catch fish on this bait from November clear through the post-spawn, just about anywhere you go in the country. This is a great, even when fish are spawning in a little bit dingier water, when you can't actually sight fish for them, when you throw a suspending jerkbait. I mean, lakes like Lanier, even when they spawn out on those deeper humps where you can't see them, you can throw that suspending jerkbait over the tops of those beds and they'll come up and get it if you'll let it sit there long enough.
Yeah. All right.
So it's a bait that I've found I can catch them, like I said, from November clear through the post-spawn period on. And then when we go up north, you know, in the heat of the summer, I mean, that's when the smallmouth really eat these things up. So it's a bait I really try to utilize all year long if I can.
Is that a new color for this year?
No, this is actually blue banded. It's a standard color that we came out with originally. We do have some new colors this year. We have got some phantom colors. We have got phantom table rock shad, which is an addition. We have got gray ghost, which is it's kind of just a phantom chartreuse shad type color. And then we have Phantom Norman Flake, which is just a phantom color of the original Norman Flake. So, you know, you take an opaque bait and basically just make it translucent. So those are some of the new colors for this year, and they've definitely already put some fish in the live well for me a time or two around the house.
Yeah, right on.